What's up, Rink Rats? It's Woody. I'm here to tell you that this week's episode is brought to you by Champion Hockey. If you're looking for quality wheels, sticks, bags, and apparel, then look no further. Champion Hockey has everything you need to look and play like a champion. Check out top-of-the-line Legacy Series sticks and wheels and upgrade your game without breaking the bank. Go to champion.hockey to purchase your gear now, and make sure to check out Champion on Instagram at Champion Hockey to stay updated with products and events. Champion Hockey. Look like a champion. Hey, did you know we're also on Spotify? You can listen to No Offsides on Spotify while you're busting out reps in the gym, driving to your next tournament, mowing the lawn to gain brownie points with your wife because you're always gone at tournaments, or while you're getting in some much needed shooting and stick handling practice. So if you're into multitasking, make sure to follow us on Spotify, where you can listen to all of our awesome content on the Spotify app.
No offside. Welcome back for season 2 of No Offsides podcast. As usual, whether you're happy or not with it, your hosts are still the same. I'm Dan Dean. This is Justin Wood. So unfortunately, like I said, nothing's changed on that end. But we bring in some new guests, some old guests back this season. So we hope you're looking forward to it. But our special guest today is something special, especially to the roller world. This man is bringing something new, something fresh, and a lot of money to the tournament series. We want to welcome Jimmy Ryerse. How are you doing, man?
I do well. Just want to say hello and everybody who's watching. Thanks for jumping on with us. It'll be short, sweet, and hopefully everyone's excited to get dialed in and registered. And we'll see everybody here in Detroit in July.
So
yeah, let's talk about it, man.
Yeah,
Detroit in July.
Bearcat Roller Nationals.
I want to know where the name came from.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in Atlanta playing roller hockey, played for Black Ice, Southern Spades, did the whole like Olympic clinic trial thing. Also played football at the time, and as a middle linebacker and then a defensive lineman, it just kind of was given to me and it stuck and I never understood it. I was hoping when I graduated high school, the name would go away. And then when I signed my first professional ice hockey contract, like 50 of my best friends showed up with giant signs, painted bodies, screaming. I was like, dang it. And little quick 5-year career in the minor league, getting beat up for a living, and retired in 2014. Met my wife. We had this grand idea to build a business to give back to the hockey community that gave me so much. And 10 years later, here we are. The nickname is still here. I'm Mr. Bearcat. And we've got an ice hockey program now that's got 56 boys team, 12 girls teams that operate internationally spring and summer. We've got camps, clinics, and stuff that run worldwide. And we're just ever expanding to the point where August this year, we decided to move to Detroit. In the move, I started working with the NHL guys with their players back to play initiative, getting them ready for season, and then guys who were injured, jumping back in with them there. And I started playing ice hockey again in this MIHL league. And in the last basically 3 months, I went from MIHL. This past weekend, I jumped back in the FHL, which is crazy. We've got the idea of this roller thing, which we'll dive into in a second. And then on my way home from my Christmas break, we threw money in, and we're now part owners of the Motor City Rockers FHL franchise. And I just moved into my office this week, so we're meeting the staff, and kind of a go big or go home model is our idea for Bearcat. And a lot like the Savannah Bananas program, the baseball franchise. We think everything's possible with a goal and a mission and a vision. And we got a lot of people with a lot of visions, and we're on the let's find out what works and doesn't work. And now we got roller hockey. So
heck yeah. I'm down for you grabbing roller hockey.
We got
I personally love it.
July 1st to July 9th.
Yep.
There is $40,000 on the line for pro.
That's just for pro men's. That doesn't include our pro women's, which is 15,000.
Okay.
Our Division 1 group's got a 5,000. Our juniors, which is 21U, will be 5,000. And then every bracket of adult will have their own 3,000, which is just over double what their admission fee is.
Okay.
The adult industry for roller hockey in Michigan is monstrous. There's 400 plus teams that operate summerly, and hopefully we can attract a ton of those teams that come in and compete and help it grow.
All right, and if you love this show, then you will also love the College Roller Foundation. The College Roller Foundation is a volunteer-run, tax-exempt 501c3 nonprofit organization that exists solely to raise and distribute funds to deserving college roller hockey student athletes in the form of scholarships. The College Roller Foundation isn't a tournament series, league, championship, governing body, or sanctioning agency, but rather works with partners to host events to raise and distribute all those dollar bills to roller players who also like to get their academia on. By raising money through donations and divvying out these scholarships to the players, the College Roller Foundation seeks to grow the game of roller in college. And if you're interested in finding more info, helping out, or donating, please visit www.collegerollerfoundation.com and make sure to follow them on Instagram at College Roller Foundation. College Roller Foundation, growing the roller game one scholarship at a time. It's time to join a revolution in roller with US Roller Cup, a premier roller hockey tournament series. The US Roller Cup is led by a passion for the sport. US Roller Cup is driven to create an unparalleled experience for players, fans, and coaches alike. With a focus on promoting roller hockey at all levels from youth to professional, we are committed to growing the game and fostering a sense of community within the roller hockey world. To find out more information, find tournaments near you, or to sign up for an upcoming tournament, go to www.usrollercup.com and be sure to follow USRC on Instagram at US Roller Cup. US Roller Cup, a revolution in roller.
I grew up
a lot of money
in Michigan and playing at that rink. So I'm excited that you guys are going to try to do something big there.
Yeah, and we're looking at getting a third floor. We've got a couple of calls out to companies. So at the point it grows big enough where we need a third floor to operate, I'm very excited to go out and get the third floor going, especially for other tournaments that may come through here. Like the Legends tournament does an amazing job up here. Giving them access to a third floor, could help their business as well. And we're excited to be working with the other companies in the industry to make everybody successful, because there's plenty of athletes and plenty of teams to go around as long as we work together. And
yeah, totally.
Let's see how it goes.
Do you have a preference on flooring?
I go back and forth. I haven't played roller hockey since 2009. I jumped into the Wish Cup this past year with Colby down in Nashville, and I learned what stilt mat was, and that there's a new stilt mat puck, which is kind of cool. Personally, I haven't played in 10 years. I grew up on a hardwood floor in Cumming, Georgia. Then the Alpharetta Skate Center, the cooler, they had whatever standard tile they have there. And I've used IDS pucks forever, so we've got an email out to the IDS team to see if they can team up with us for pucks. And I know Rocket Puck and their pucks they're good, but I like IDS.
I like IDS on plain tile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot take, but I'm kind of over still met. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, you get it's like an ice hockey feel. So the ice hockey guys coming back from playing ice hockey all winter, it's a good feel for them. It's a happy medium. I got no issues with it, but it just does take some time to get used to.
I would love to see the technology behind the flooring and the puck. Not that it matters, right? Like they've got a great product and everyone loves them for a reason. How do you research and develop something so minute like a puck that's 2.5 ounces heavier that it does slide better? It does shoot a little harder. I'd love to be in the room for their R&D sessions, because I'm a sponge. I want to learn.
Someone's got a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah. I thought I had a lot of time on my hands, but redeveloping a roller hockey puck.
No, they got some goofball that loves it. They got some guy that loves it, and he's just sitting in there just cranking away.
I can just see I can see a guy that has one tile on his desk, and he's just like,
let's
try this one.
100%.
I would again, that would just be I'd love to see the technology behind it, and listen, it's a great puck and it's a great floor. I didn't think we need to reinvent.
I love the way it slides.
Plastic, So
yeah, they just got to get those little RF chips in them. Have you seen that? All that stuff people can do now, so you can track everything.
Well, I'm not that athletic anymore, so I don't need any extra data saying I skate slow and suck at passing.
What was your experience like at Wish? How'd you feel?
We got a team in there late. I got a bunch of guys like Elijah Gibbons, Gibby, JJ Factow came in. The Outlaws program sent us a couple of their players, their younger players who did amazing. My goal was to just not die. And the team did a lot of skating, and the coach kept putting me out there. It brought back a lot of like the feelings, right, of being a young kid. You go to a tournament and there's just vendor booths everywhere. The kids who aren't playing are flying around the facility all hours of the day into the night. The all-star game that they put on with Swaggy P and Chippy and those guys was just packed. It brought back a lot of memories. And, my dad, whether you guys know this or not, my dad helped get Too Hot for Ice off the ground and was part of the whole process. So I remember going every weekend to a new tournament, new cities, Narch, tours. I never actually played State Wars. They kind of started on my way out. And again, I probably wasn't very good at that point in time. But just going back to Wish Cup, it opened my eyes what I, kind of fell out of love of hockey from. And that's where this whole idea started. And then we were down in Tampa for tours. I was living in Tampa, saw the games there, the high-level games. I'm like, man, we could do this. And, here we are.
Hell yeah. This is just a quick question. Are you the guy that was wearing the V's at Wish?
No.
No.
No, we're so our Bearcat program is fully endorsed by CCM. So I called my guy and he hooked me up with head to toe stuff, and I don't know. That was nice. I didn't die. Most didn't get hurt, didn't die. I was a fat old guy sitting in front of the net, just talking to the goalies the whole time. That's everyone has their role, and I executed mine flawlessly, and that's why we won one game.
Hell yeah.
Now, there is something special, and I'm going to focus more on like the pro division, and that no other tournament does. That's like during the summer run, and that is the live draw.
Yep.
What made you go towards something like the live draw?
So a lot of different reasons, and our live draw, we'll go into detail in a second, is a little different than what you're probably even thinking about. A lot of tournaments design their schedules where your two teams are going to be in the finals, pretty cut and dry. You've got a couple just absolute powerhouses, and they never see each other generally in regulation play. So we want to set up a situation where they still may not see each other in regulation play, but there's a chance you have two heavy hitters as your opening game of the tournament.
Yeah.
And so everybody thinks, okay, the schedule will be set 1-4, 2-3, whatever. That's not exactly how we're doing it either. So our live draw, which we will do before the tournament starts, by the way, it won't be done at the tournament. So that's something I'm going to just clear up now. Each round, we're going to have a bucket of team names on these cool, 2-foot wide sticky notes, basically plastic, and a big board. And we'll have a kid come out and pull two teams. Boom, there's your first game for round 1. Game 2, game 3. And then the second round, whole new round of those, those name bars, for lack of a better term. So it's not like you're going to see teams 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to see teams 1, 6, 9, 11, whatever it ends up being. And then the first 3 will be their live draw, boom. And then from there, we'll just make sure everybody else doesn't play each other twice.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll build the actual schedule where, okay, if we'll use a team named Peter Pan, because I'm not going to use, big box brand names here. We just got to make sure Peter Pan's team is not playing Jerry's kids in the first round game 1, and then first round game 2, and then first round game 3. We want to make sure they have time, to rest and hydrate, etc., between their games. One of the cool things with our tournament is we'll have a full buffet for the pro guys and the staff members working, officials, off-ice officials. That'll be open all day long. So when you get there, first game for pro will be probably 8 a.m. or a little bit later. There will be breakfast there. And this is where Big Boy, one of our sponsors, comes into play. There will be breakfast there. It'll transition to lunch. It'll transition to mid-afternoon. It'll transition to dinner time. So guys have the ability, if they do want to stay there all day throughout the whole process, watch a ton of hockey, they're not leaving the building to go find food. Because as we all know, when you leave the building, we got 3 hours till we play again, whatever, right? So trying to create a culture where people want to stay in the building, depending on the weather as we get closer to the event. There's a huge side lot. I'm not even sure which way I'm facing the building right now because it's a box. But there's a huge side field. It's probably a football field size. Depending on weather, out there we'll have the bouncy houses, sponsor tables outside as well, and things around the building where people can stay on campus and be a part of the whole experience for the 2.5, 3 or 4 days that they're here, in Detroit.
I'm gonna have to put out there, just sign me so I can eat.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Dude,
someone's got to sign me so I can eat.
I kind of laugh because you go online, social media, whatever. We have a whole social media team, and that marketing will start to kick off here as we really get to February. Everybody's reaching out, like, how do we get on teams? It's like, well, we want your actual club to come, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, as people start signing, as they start giving me, clearance to start advertising they're coming, it's going to go fast. Like, I know we've already got 4 pro teams signed. We've got 3 girls teams signed. The youth is the youth. That's a whole different, animal. But it's fun once we can start announcing our stuff. I know that Rinkster just jumped on. So Fabio and the team, they've locked in as a sponsor. Part of their sponsor deal is having a table at the venue that they can sell their products. Mm-hmm. Yes, I want my sponsors who come in to sell their products. I want them to bring stuff that they can advertise who they are, what they do. And then also he will be covering the 10U AAA Championship Awards. So part of our sponsors with CCM. CCM is going to send us ball caps with like the championship stuff on it. Super cool. And then we'll do T-shirts and medals for the first place team. Then the second place team just gets medals. And then, all of our table sponsors, for lack of a better term, they'll be in charge of that extra, what is it going to be, prize for the winning teams. So I know, like, we're talking to Mars Blade, for example, and they're looking at doing a pair of skates for every team on their championship, game. Super cool. Something very different that other people may or may not be doing. I don't know. And then, some really random sponsors who want to run a table. So we'll see how those go.
So it seems
sponsor.
Yeah, it seems like your focus is purely based on the experience of being there.
Yep, 100%.
Which, and sorry to cut you off, but which seems like, this was the model years ago, right?
Yep. This is all I ever knew.
Yeah. And so, and I'm going to use the word stale. The roller world in the summer has gotten stale. It's the same thing every year. It just sometimes, depending on the tournament, changes places. And it's usually just state wars. Now it's tours this year, right? Unless you go to winter wars and stuff like that. But, I went to a nationals 2 years ago, and I was like, this is cool, but I wasn't wowed, right?
Right.
And so, I'm glad you're bringing it back to what I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah, I envision this whole thing. I'll speak highly of Narch here. So the Narch team back in, gosh knows what year it was. I was a kid. I got flown in to play. I want to say we were in Cincinnati, and you walk in. It's like, I've had a lot of concussions since then, but it was like 3 or 4 arenas. Like, it's all wide open. There's like a roller coaster going across one of the back of one of the rinks. Like, it was the coolest thing ever. And I think I was like 12 years old at the time. It was amazing. I'm like, this is fun. This is why we earned being here. And that was like, of all the nationals I ever went to, that was the one that stood out the most to me. Couldn't tell you if we won, didn't matter. I can tell you I was there from 8 a.m. from first game till, whoever it was took us back to the hotel late in the day, but watched a million games, saw a ton of awesome athletes, and bringing that experience back is our objective. Listen, it's year 1. We know we're going to bobble some things. Some things aren't going to go as well. We know that's fine. But the overall, when people leave the building, they're going to have our 2026 dates, which are already set. They're going to have a little pamphlet like, hey, thanks for coming. See you later, whatever. And then ideally, we're going to be in this arena for the next 5 years. We have our dates set all the way through 2030 already on paper with the rink. So having that extensive, scheduling, there's no question these are what we're going with, blah, blah, blah. Building that rapport here in Detroit, I think will help us, especially out of the gate in year one.
Yeah. And
I like that. I like that you're already booked out 2030, you said?
Yep, all the way to 2030. Wow. By the way, finding a calendar for 2030 took a little bit more research. I know it just keeps scrolling on your iPhones, but like I was looking to print one out, and my wife ended up, finding it in 3 seconds. I'm not like really a technology person.
Yeah, they're better at some stuff than us.
Oh, everything, actually. My wife is definitely better at me than everything I do.
Shout out Jimmy's wife.
Oh, yeah. Katie's, the fact that she puts up with my crazy lifestyle is a win by itself.
So
I think most women that get with roller guys have to be a little crazy, or hockey guys in general. To put up with us. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know about crazy, but she definitely has a sense of humor, and yeah. She
so I mean, it's crazy to deal with us.
Yeah,
like we're going on a tournament for the weekend. See you, babe.
Not even that, but I mean, picture like this year for the ice hockey side, we ran tryouts in 19 different states. And on my way back, I hadn't seen her. I was basically in for Christmas Day, then right back out because they're all over Christmas break. I'm on my way from Hartford back to Detroit, and I get a call from a federal team like, hey, can you get to Binghamton? We play in 3 hours. I'm like, sure. So I call her. I was like, hey, I got to pull over and get gas, stretch my legs out, quick federal hockey league game, and then I'll be back on the road by 10. And she's like, I'm sorry, what? And then the game ends. I was like, oh, hey, by the way, I got 2 more games back in Danbury on the weekend, so I'll see you in 6 days. And she's like, great, thanks. Yeah. I think tolerates is the only that she puts up with me.
There you go.
So one of the last things I want to touch up on, which I think is really unique, and it just throws another flare at your tournament, is the ref jerseys.
The zebras.
Yes. Yeah. They are so cool, and I love the design. So we have a funny kind of thing coming on. So Steven with Unify has been taking care of my Bearcat brand 10, 12 years now. And shout out to Steven. He kills it. And when we went to work on the referee uniforms, we looked at the other tournament series. We looked at the KSL up in Canada, the Clever Series. They're different, right? And I was like, okay, what can we do to just really stand out? And that's kind of what he came up with. And I absolutely love it. And what we're doing is we're working to get a bunch of import referees in the building. So I know that we've got a call out to Montreal, but I might bite myself in this one. But for our pro division, I want every referee to be first language French. So when guys are mad, upset, or whatever, they're just like, yeah, we don't understand you. Get the puck down, keep it going. So all right. We'll kind of see how that goes. And those guys coming in, I know we've got 4 guys from Montreal already confirmed. Fortunately, I've got talk to text, which translates to French.
I love it.
But that'll be fun. And then we're looking at doing pants as well. So it's like full zebra, head to toe. I think it's a little aggressive to do it, but hey, why not, right? It's going to do it one of 2 ways. They're going to look incredible, or it's going to look really dumb. But
it's a fine line.
Yeah.
I think
roller hockey,
you
got to go flashy. Yeah, you got to go flashy.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it.
I mean, what's the worst that happens? Someone makes a comment about it, like, okay, cool. Have fun over there watching. The players
I think people are going to like it.
All the feedback we've gotten from the officials so far who work across the states and across Canada, some of them reached out literally just to have one. We have one guy from Toronto who just ordered one just to have it. Like, he's an ice hockey official. He's like, I can't roller skate, but I want a jersey. So we sold him a jersey. And we threw his name on the back, the number he wanted. So it's nice, nice circle plate. And it's going to be interesting to see how those start to spread as we get going.
I might hit you up for one of those too.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we will be selling them throughout the tournament. And then there's also a hoodie rendition coming with it. So we don't know how many we'll pre-order, but I know to wear a hoodie. I mean, it's July, so I get it. But having a zebra hoodie could just be interesting, and we'll see how many of those we order. But again, just something to keep people excited for next year. The referee jersey probably stays the same for the next couple of years, just because it is a really cool design. And then we have to figure out, MVP. The All-Star ones should be up there now. Those just came through. The MVPs. This is going to be cool. So I hope the big box brands aren't listening and taking my ideas. But for the tournament MVPs, I know people give cool glass sculptures, plaques, whatever, right? So what we want to do is we'll award them the jersey at center ice. Cool, great, right? Because we've got our jersey. And then from there, we're going to take it back. We're going to frame it. We're going to put a picture of them in that shadow box, and we're going to ship them that shadow box. Unless they live locally, we'll just deliver it. So then these kids or these adults have their MVP of the tournament jersey in a shadow box with a, hey, congratulations, great job, little love letter from one of our staff members, and then a picture of them playing, and then hopefully holding it. So just something a little bit different that other people don't do. That, yeah, okay, we'll see how it goes. But I just hope the shadow boxes don't break when we're shipping them to the families, because there's nothing worse than showing up with broken glass.
Oh, hey, you know what? It's a learning curve here, right?
We try. It's the effort level.
Absolutely.
I think it's a cool idea.
It's just different, right?
Yeah. And I don't think you got to worry about anybody stealing your idea. It's a good idea.
Who knows?
I don't see them going after it.
I hope that they get inspired more in the last two to do more for the community, to do more for the athletes coming to their events who are so loyal year after year after year. Again, I played in all of them, was successful in all of them, got beat up in all of them, and now we're sitting in the same chair, the same room, competing against each other, which is, I don't know, we'll kind of see.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, do you have any final things any final words that you want to release to the viewers about the tournament series or anything like that we have not touched up on?
Yeah, so our pro championship game has a huge twist coming. So we're gonna be selling tickets to our community. So since I live here, we now have the pro team. We've got junior teams coming. We're gonna go to all of our sponsors and try and put 3,400 people in the building for the pro championship. And then there's a twist in the actual game, which we're not going to tell you guys about, but it's going to be the people who didn't make the game as athletes are going to be like, you got to be kidding me. We could have scored one more goal. That's what happens. It's going to be pretty epic. So that's the big tell for me. Everybody has ideas. They've been emailing me oh, cool. Is this what it is? You can say it out loud. The answer is going to be no.
Is it shirts for skins?
Okay. I got a shirt. We'll just write the numbers on the back of it. 99 across the chest. No, that would be cool though, but no.
All right. It's probably better than that.
That's a pretty cool idea. Yeah, it's just different. It's just something that you don't see otherwise. I know our format's already out there for everybody. Pricing's out there. Registration's already open. We've got just under 100 teams already registered, which is incredible. And as we start to ramp up the marketing, it's going to be, divisions are going to start to close based on sold out, which is amazing. And we didn't see that being a thing, but it's so far so good. So anybody out there is going to play, I would say you probably should look at it sooner than later, because we're on track to sell out, or buy a third rink to put another floor down, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Jimmy, we appreciate you joining us today. And, we wish you the best of luck going forward with this, and maybe you'll see us there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And also, when you guys are there, if you wanna stream live on any of the pro games, the D1, the junior stuff, I don't know how mobile your equipment is, but definitely if you can bring it, stream live and help spread the good word of there's going to be one winner in every division. So
yeah,
it's going to be fun to watch.
Sounds great, man. Yeah.
All right.
We'll check in with you after everything.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you back on.
Yeah. We'll jump back on as we get closer, and we'll, at that point we can start talking about the teams coming in, and start breaking down more of the different pieces that are coming.
Okay.
That'll be, but we'll push for, I would say, early May, realistically, because by that time we'll have full programs dialed in, and and all the sponsors will be out there at that point. We'll be chipping away.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and joining us, and we know you're a busy guy, so we appreciate your time.
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Amen.
Bye.
And for our second guest, we're bringing him back. He's from the Midwest. Drew Hite, welcome back, man.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me again. Great to see you guys. I'm glad to be back.
Hell yeah. Good to see you, man. I'm excited. We just talked to Jimmy Ryerse.
Yep, you got it right.
All right. And he's talking about Bearcat Roller, and that's right in your hood, man.
Yeah, right at our home rink. So I'm pretty interested to see how that goes, and hoping maybe it sticks, and it's a thing that keeps coming back. I mean, the more tournaments, the better. I mean, especially in the Midwest with the way it's been going, it's like we need that for the growth of all of our programs.
Yeah, I mean, and so you said it with what I really want to touch up on today is hockey in the Midwest, right? So even just this year, you have Tours winner in St. Louis, you have Tours Nationals in St. Louis, you got State Wars in Taylor's, Michigan, you got Border Cats Nationals in Fraser, Michigan, right? You got 4 tournaments this year, practically in your backyard, if not pretty darn close. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, and we got legends too with George. I mean, that's another one too. And then the Fraser, the summer bash. So luckily it's starting to load up and starting to come back to the Midwest. I mean, we've been needing stuff like this for a while. The Canadian Roller Hockey Group, they've been helping out, bringing it back, bringing their teams and even doing their own tournaments. And we have some guys from Michigan, that'll go over there and play those. And it's just the growth we really need to get back to being where we're at. I mean, St. Louis, Michigan, Ontario, I mean, those are huge for the Midwest and for roller. I mean, that's usually where a lot of these teams come from. I mean, you look at a lot of these top teams in any of these divisions, a lot of the players even are from Michigan. It's like they've been waiting for it too. And it's like guys have been itching for it to finally come back. It's like it feels good to know. I mean, even, we'll travel all the time, but it's like we can stay at home for a couple, save some money, do that and be able to help some guys out to get here.
Yeah, and maybe now this year coming up, maybe win some big bucks.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. I mean, we kind of did our stepping stone the last 2 years, and last year we felt like we really made some progress, and we're gonna make we got some good moves coming, and probably keep around the same team. And I think with what we're building, I mean, we're starting to get to the top and get to where we want to compete.
Yeah, you guys definitely put on a show last year, and I know Justin and I were rooting for y'all, and we thought between your round robin and your playoff push, hard to watch the ending to what we thought could have been, a championship for you guys.
I mean, we definitely felt that too. I mean, we were more so. I mean, that game against Snipers, I mean, we lost in our last round, the one round robin game that lost us the bye we lost on a no call penalty. I mean, a stick to the face, the guy's bleeding, no call, and the guy goes in and scores. You got to pick your battles sometimes, but nothing you can do there.
Yeah.
And, now it's Black Ice, we came out and they played a 1-3 and we're kind of shifting between a 1-3 and a box, and they jammed us up. And, we like to play with speed. And that was really a whole thing where we came into and we're like, all right, like, we don't have the biggest guys in the world, and we don't have a bunch of 6-footers. Like, we got to split this box and figure it out. And they jammed us up. I mean, we gave them a good fight, but I mean, those are the teams we want to play. I mean, every tournament we want to go play those teams.
That's how spoken like a competitor.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we never want the easy route. It's cool to go out there and win 8-0, 6-1. It's like we want to go play the top teams. We want to go play the Black Ice. We want to go play the Roadrunners. We want to play Palma. We want all of them.
Well, and it looks like right now you're going to get some of them, right? You're going to get the Roadrunners and you're going to get the Envious Wings, who are, another program. The only thing they do is keep changing their names back and forth, but it's usually the same roster, and they're very similar to your team, where very talented, but waiting for that opportunity to kind of hit the next level, right, and take that championship.
Yeah, I mean, for them, it kind of, even at State Wars, they had the one Bennett, I think, brother was getting married, so they lost those two. I mean, those are major factors on that team. I mean, they're usually their top point getters every tournament. I mean, and that's huge for them. I mean, they picked up a couple guys that helped them out, but I mean, you could tell, like, when we were playing them, like, they have those guys. That's the difference. That's what you could tell they wanted them back.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were in close games as well that could have went either way if they had their full roster. But as you know, every summer there are usually some roster shifts, so you just have to kind of play through it.
What you guys been up to in the offseason here?
My bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you repeat yourself. I just talked right over you.
No, so we're finally getting our roster to where we're solidified and where we want to be, and it's not going to have to be, hey, go find a couple guys. We're all luckily at the age where we're not having a million weddings every summer yet. A couple more years, and those invitations will start coming. We'll have to start doing that same thing.
Yeah. Well, what have you guys been up to in the off season here?
Really, I mean, man, we've just been playing here. I mean, luckily I have Brandon Glover, who plays on our Ragecats team, top player there. He's been coming over here. I mean, he's been driving in every Tuesday to come play at Fraser to play men's league just to keep playing, because in Ontario, they don't have the access to the rinks all summer round. So, I mean, they get that as a treat. And like that, a lot of them are doing Miha now. So they're playing year round and they're loving it.
Nice.
Yeah, very been good. It feels good. I mean, you get skate all the time and keep getting better. It's all we want to do.
Are you doing Miha as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm subbing just because it's tough for me with travel, with work and everything. And, some of those weekends to get out to Buffalo and all that, it's a bit of a hike. But I jumped in on a team with some guys I knew from Pittsburgh, and that was fun. Played there. Whenever it's usually here, I'll just jump on whoever needs. It's like I didn't sign up because I didn't want to make the commitment and, not be able to go travel and do everything they want to do.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's not cheap either when you start traveling like that.
I know.
Yeah. That the Miha covers a lot of distance between for their entire division. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and they brought that Piha to Michigan now. They're doing that team out of Fraser.
Yeah,
and that's been helping too. But like Chucky Robinson, he kind of put that team together, it seems so, and he kind of asked all of us guys like if we want to play, and we were kind of like, dude, like we'd love to, but we're not going to be able to get out to Pittsburgh. We're not going to be able to get to Colorado for finals. It's like we don't want to give you a couple tournaments and just waste your time,
Yeah.
But it's been good, man. I mean, the way it's been growing out here and the stuff that it's been going, I mean, the hardest thing for, the growth in the Midwest and our youth teams, which I'm hoping, this summer with all these tournaments being here, hopefully I'm really emphasizing to get our youth back. I have some meetings and a couple calls to make here because it's going to be here, because it's like ice hockey now is 365 days a year. It's not get to the summer and go play your roller hockey and have some fun and do your own training. It's just nonstop now. All these kids are prepping to go anywhere.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, but playing rollers a huge benefit for these ice players. So hopefully,
and a lot of parents have figured that out. A lot of the coaches have figured that out, but half the battle is they have an ice hockey tournament, and then the weekend after, say, you want to go travel to Florida or something. It's like these parents, you can't, they're not all millionaires. You can't press them for money nonstop.
Yeah.
But luckily it's in your backyard a couple tournaments this year. So, hopefully that boosts some attendance from your area.
Yeah. And I think that's going to happen. I've been in a lot of conversations, a lot of the coaches, some coaches that coached previously that want to, get in, some of the older guys that used to play, pro, and they've been asking, like, hey, like, how can we get involved? Like, how can we help coach? And I'm like, that's just awesome to hear, because, you can always have enough players, but there's never enough coaches, especially when these tournaments are during the week.
Yeah. Well, how's Fraser doing, man? Or sorry, Big Boy Arena.
Yeah. Same thing. It's been going good, man. It's It's good. I mean, they've been doing that. It kind of sucks. We're gonna probably hopefully get a second rink in there this summer and get the side rink because the 2 rinks is huge just for division wise. I mean, I know with Frazier talking to Mike Fernelli, who runs it, he was even saying like a lot of the leagues had to wait list guys just because there's not enough rinks and there's not enough time. So it's like there's people that couldn't. I know some teams. I was on a team that couldn't play this summer or this season just because there's just not enough time in the week.
Dang.
It's not the worst problem to have.
No, it's great. I mean, it's just great to hear it growing and people are trying to get involved like that and do that again.
Yeah, like Justin said, not a terrible problem. I mean, we in our league, before we had our storm and whatnot, but we had waiting list, which is not a terrible problem because we could always, if guys bounce out or don't sign up, we can contact people to fill in or whatnot. But so I guess where I'm going with this though is like being that there's more tournaments in your backyard. Does that mean we're going to see more border cats?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I mean, I know our Connex Ragecats team, we're trying to do as many tournaments as we can this summer. Narch, it's another hard one because it's just hard travel for a lot of guys. I mean, flights to California are never cheap no matter what time of the year. And it's like, obviously, we're not making money like that here for the organization, but I'm really thinking that should really bring a lot of growth to our youth and that will really help. And, I was really just talking to a coach the other day. I was like, I want to get us back in, 18s and juniors and D1 because those are such major development divisions. I mean, that's really where, when I was growing up, when I was younger than 18, we would go and look to watch those 18U, those junior D1 games. Because that's one outside of pro. I think those are the best divisions to watch. They're always competitive. A lot of the kids are playing pro, and that's like, they have the speeds there. The game style's there. It's just more so putting these kids together. They go to college and it's like college, it's hard if they don't have roller hockey there. They'll be out of it for the whole college school year and then get back to summer and they're kind of like, I don't know, kind of just want to enjoy the summer, which is understandable, but
yeah,
hoping, I've been getting some more interest and hoping that these kids want to get back out there.
Heck yeah. Personally, I think that playing some roller is a great way to enjoy summer, but teach his own.
Always. You can never go wrong. Worst thing you could do is get yelled at by a coach and you're still going to have fun.
I just want to see more baby blue Ragecats jerseys on telecasts.
Yeah, and I think we have we got some new uniforms coming too. We're gonna grab another one for this summer. I think we're gonna roll with 4 and keep those cycling through and maybe do a couple other changes. But yeah, we're trying to keep those uniforms. We're trying to keep the top uniform going and hope keep the top team going. We want to be a top team and continue to be a top team.
Hell yeah!
So I was gonna say you can't fold the blue jerseys yet. They were rated one of the top ones of last tournament season.
Oh yeah, those aren't done yet. We'll be wearing those. Those things have holes in them.
Good.
That's awesome.
It's awesome too. Even at State Wars, a couple of times we were in you're in the tunnel before you go out on the rink, and these kids would come ripping through, looking through locker rooms, and they just see us and be like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, they feel good. They feel as good as they look.
Hey, that's a big part of it.
Oh yeah, you look good, feel good, play good.
Did you see these zebra jerseys that he's got for Bearcat?
Yeah, I just saw that the other day. It's hilarious. It's funny. Funny what he's doing. I had some talks with him, met with him. It was pretty good. Didn't give him a yes or no just because I got to see where our teams are at. And what we can do and
sure.
What we can commit. And it's just not going to give the guy a yes if we're not going to be there.
Sure.
And I like what he's doing. Everything I talked to him about has been good. It's only going to help. I talked to George a little bit about it. It's like it can only help. That's it.
What do you think he's got to do to get the youth in there?
By the sounds of it, it sounds like he's going to have, his youth Bearcats team showing up to play. It's just more so now that Tours is so close. It's like people, the people in Michigan shouldn't be a problem. It's just more so the people traveling in because you're going to have to probably do a back-to-back weekend or maybe go a week at Tours and maybe a couple days later have some relaxed time and get right to Michigan.
Yeah, might be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at Tours, and then a Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that's where it kind of draws a tough line, because it's like we just got to see, who can really do it. I mean, like I said, these kids, man, they're training nonstop. I mean, from 8U to 18U. I mean, these kids are going year round nowadays, and it's like, man, like you guys don't want to just take a weekend off, come play some roller, have a little bit of fun, still get a skate in, get your sweat in, get your workout in. So that's really what I'm trying to grow us there, is our youth. Our youth is really my main focal point this summer.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's been tough, I mean, the last couple of years, tours being in Florida, State Wars, St. Louis, we always have teams that go to State Wars. That's never a problem, because State Wars, it's always staying around the Midwest. Fort Wayne, Missouri, Michigan, it's always drivable. You never have anything to worry about there, and they're always in to do it, because you know what you're going to get. You're going to get there. Your games are going to be when your games are scheduled, and you know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, I actually meant to say that to him. He was talking about all the things that would keep people at the rink and keep people happy. And I was thinking, you can keep the schedule basically in line, you'll make people happy. I think that's the biggest downer for people, is when they're playing at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I really said. Like, that's the whole thing. You can keep people here. You can, schedule these games a couple hours apart. It's just more so, as long as the games are a couple hours apart and they're starting when they're supposed to be scheduled. I mean, we don't need 8 o'clock games starting at 12 o'clock at night. Everybody loves roller, but nobody's there to just spend a whole day sitting in the rink,
Yeah. When you get schedule changes in the middle of a tournament, you guys are usually off doing something to relax, or some guys are taking naps, some guys are out and about around the town, and then they're like, oh shit, our schedule changed, and now you're rushing, and it's like it's never fun.
Yeah, and it's like State Wars, we really did, like, that was our main, hey, let's go play our game, let's go get food, let's go get a smoothie, get right back to the hotel, get some rest, get horizontal, get rested a little bit. Because it's like it's hard, you could sit there all day and get your sub and go to the rink, but it's like just being at that rink, it takes a little bit of energy out of you. It takes the tiresome out of you. Luckily, with State Wars, you can at least throw on a stream on a laptop. Somebody would have it on their laptop or their phone or something. We'd be able to watch games from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I do know, because I did talk to Jimmy, is that he's going to have a production crew in there, so he will have a live stream as well. But I would like to see all these tournament series be on ESPN Plus.
That would be an absolute treat, honestly. I mean, especially the way that they're using the NHL on ESPN Plus now. I mean, I go to watch the Red Wings. I'm like, all right, I can't see it on Valleys. All right, right to ESPN Plus. I'll go there. It's awesome. I think it's just more so the risk for ESPN and the whole contract agreement. But it's like they're airing the other day cornhole championships. Yeah. Like, okay, I could go watch that at the local bar. Let's go throw some roller hockey on and get these people into it. You guys want to put the highlights when somebody does a Michigan or something insane on the Sports Center top 10. Give it a chance. It's just, you got to play the risks there. It's really just the whole risk reward.
Well, and it's not like, and I think there's more reward than there is risk for ESPN2 as well, right? Because it's going to be on their app. It's not even going to be on like ESPN or ESPN2 or ESPNU, right? You got to go into the app and get it. It's just like, if I want to go watch badminton or volleyball, I got to go into the app of ESPN, right? And then I can then watch it, right? I got to go find it. So as long as it's there, I think, and the roller community is informed about it, I think it is definitely an improvement for, the like just roller in general and just more exposure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we talked about last time I was on. I mean, if they could come, I mean, ESPN's a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
If you go and lose, $20,000 on a cheap agreement to do this, it's not going to hurt you. Your guys are going to be fine. It's like, more so they just have to come to that full agreement, and it's just a whole bargain agreement of it.
Yeah, and I think it only works if now you're talking the 4 tournament series now this year. If they all eventually were to come to terms and say, like, hey, we're going to stop streaming on our YouTube or whatever, and let's all just go together and let's just pitch this to ESPN.
Yeah.
I mean, you just never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know until you try. I mean, and that's a tough thing, with tours. Like, you go on to the stream and it's there. Same thing with State Wars. I mean, if the game's delayed, nobody that's watching knows. Like my family would be texting us like, hey, like, aren't you guys supposed to be on right now? And we're like, oh no, like we're actually playing in an hour now. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll have to get them back there. But there, at least you'd be able to keep the schedule, keep what games on, and know what's upcoming,
Oh, and it's always hard to find a schedule for roller.
Oh yeah,
they never make it easy.
It's always just a link away, but it's like you never know the delay. That's one thing, I wouldn't hate to see maybe in the future is instead of, just keeping the schedule out there, keeping those times on, maybe just throw like in an extra link, hey, games are delayed. This game started the delay. We're delayed 45 minutes. You can come to the rink earlier, come to the rink later. Because we'd be having to get on the live stream, check out. One guy would have the live stream, one guy would have the schedule, and we'd be trying to cross-reference. All right, they're here. Maybe there's a skills competition in between. It's like you had no clue. So it's like we could do that. Saves you the trip from running back and forth. Because like I said, sometimes you go to a rink an hour, 2 hours early. You're sitting there stale. I mean, you're watching it. It's good to get your mind into it, but you need the rest. The rest is huge with playing 2 games a day.
Yeah, and especially in these national tournaments too, right? You go to look for the schedule, and if you're towards the end of the day, you're scrolling all the way down the page too.
Oh yeah,
it's not like, hey, this game's live and it's at the top. No, it's this game played, this game played, this game played. All right, keep scrolling. All right, game 200. Here we go. Here it is.
Yeah.
So, there's definitely things that can be worked on throughout the entire, roller world, especially come nationals, to make it the viewership and the accessibility easier.
Yeah, and I think that's been coming. I mean, it seems like a little bit last year they were more so doing more, bringing some more sponsors in, make sure it was there. I think it was, I want to say Tours. They had a couple different camera angles. State Wars had a couple different camera angles going. And, one thing I really liked this summer, I thought was State Wars was bringing in Phil Maroon and some of those guys to comment. I mean, because he's been around the game forever. He knows. I mean, just listening to the games were hilarious. I mean, we'd go watch our games back. One of us would like make a mistake or something, and like he would like chirp it, we'd all just be laughing, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's pretty good to hear that commentation always.
Yeah, I mean, just something small like that is memorable for that roller summer, right? So, we're hoping that more changes to come for the better. We're looking forward to seeing what Tours in St. Louis brings us for this year and the future. Is there anything you want to add based on more roller in the Midwest or Ragecats or anything? Yeah, closing argument.
Yeah, I mean, I really think like the Tours bringing it back to St. Louis and kind of back so more. I mean, that's their home base is St. Louis. I mean, I think that's going to bring a lot more teams back to Tours. There was a lot of teams that were, complaining about the schedule. I mean, everybody complains about the schedule, but nobody's ever ran a tournament. You can't hate the guys when they get hours behind because the rink's flooded. Something's happening. It's out of their control. Some of it may be preventable, but it's like, what? How much can you do? You're gonna rip the whole tiles up and go squeegee it the whole time, and that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's going to help them a lot. It's going to be at St. Peter's. That facility has it figured out. It's proven. I mean, there's shouldn't be any problems, I don't think. And I think that's really going to help them get some of those people back because, I know there was some people like, oh, no, Tours again. And I'm just like, come on, man. I'm like, just keep it going. Keep playing. Like, don't use that as an excuse. It doesn't matter, if maybe a couple teams aren't going. Go there and play. It's just more so for the why not? I mean, you want to play in the summer. You want to win what you can. You want to compete where you can. I mean, last summer, Tours was a huge step for us. I mean, we made it right. We made it to the semifinals, had a tough one against the Roadrunners. They went on the championship. They put up a great game. I mean, they won the game fair and square. I mean, that was it. And it's like those tournaments. I mean, that's even if you don't, we had a couple round robin games that, weren't the best maybe to go watch just the way they were going. But it's just like by the time playoffs hits, whoever's in playoffs is meant to be in playoffs.
Sure.
You're going to go there and you're going to have that battle no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what we want. I mean, with the way State Wars has been doing it and Tour's been doing it, it's like we never see our schedule and we're like, oh man, like we got to play Pomo, we got to play Snipers. We're like, no, like that's where we want to be. That's who we want to play.
Sure.
We would rather go play Black Ice, Pama, Roadrunners, Car Shield in the tournament. All right, we go 2-2. We don't have the best tournament. We need to get better. I mean, that's really how you measure yourself and where you're at is playing against these top teams. You're never going to be the best if you don't want to play the best.
Love it.
Well, that's perfect ending right there.
Yeah.
So, but Drew, we always appreciate you coming on and joining us. We appreciate your input. We love watching the Ragecats play in the Pro Division. We want to see more Ragecats, especially. We hope to see you at Bearcats Nationals and stuff like that. So we hope you guys can make it work.
For sure.
But once again, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your guys' time. It's always fun jumping on, shooting a roller. I mean, I'm always here. I'm always here for our network. That's always it. You guys are going to be planning on going out to the Bearcat tournament? You guys are going to be playing?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
sure.
Yeah. We got to figure some stuff out first.
Yeah,
I mean, stay with my parents.
Nothing wrong with a couple of free meals,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, keep in touch. I mean, you guys come out here, let me know. I mean, I'll have some spots for you guys to go. I mean, some stuff to see, stuff to do. There's a lot of options out here.
All right.
We'll hold you to it.
For sure. Sounds good, man. Thanks again, guys, for having me.
No problem. Anytime.
I appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. Great seeing you.
Good seeing you.
See ya. We just talked to Jimmy Ryerse of Bearcat Nationals and Andrew Hite of the Ragecats. And we're talking, Midwest roller, talking about a huge tournament getting brought down into Detroit area. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what's going to happen. What do you think, man?
Yeah, obviously the big thing that stands out, right, is that $40,000 for Pro Division. When we look at roller hockey, we look at the Pro Division, the men's pro. The women's pro is definitely something else to look at as well, because there's $15,000 there. But $40,000 for a men's pro roller, like cash prize. I mean, who can't be excited for that?
Yeah, I mean, playing hockey is cool, but winning money is a nice piece of icing on top of that cake.
Sure. And as when we were talking to Andrew, I mean, there was a lot of eyes opened up right away, and everyone asking kind of like, who is this guy?
Yeah. What
is he about? Because, when you're immediately coming out going, here's a tournament series, here's $40,000, it's going to quake a little bit around, the nation.
Yeah, especially when you come out of nowhere with it.
Yeah. There's nothing like, where he's in the roller world. He's like, I'm thinking about running a tournament series. It's like, no, boom, Bearcat Nationals, $40,000.
Yeah.
Prizes for every division.
Bouncy houses outside for the kids. I mean, that's a smart move because, when you think about like Wish Cup and keeping all the families there, a lot of guys playing roller adult divisions, they got kids. So it's like, do everything for the community.
Yeah. And the vendors, man, got it. Wish Cup does it right. They have all the vendors. I haven't been to Narch in maybe ever. I don't remember. If I did, it was younger. But, it's having the entire rink covered in vendors and just being able to talk with vendors, talk about, the companies buying jerseys or T-shirts or, Liquid getting IVs in the morning after being hungover from Nashville. Like, having that opportunity to do stuff like that and have it available is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And I was really interested when he said Big Boy was going to be a big sponsor. I didn't know what that meant. Then when he was talking about they're going to have just food ready, like a green room for all the pros, and I'm guessing the refs too. That's pretty sick.
And as I've already said, I am available for Pro Division. I will be your biggest eater, and I don't have to play.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I'm going to throw my hat in as ref. I don't speak French, but I can pretend that I don't speak English because I do want one of those jerseys.
Yeah, man. That'd be awesome.
I thought they were pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it's just something where, some tournaments will change the color of the band, and they're just changing the entire design to be kind of like a zebra, but have orange come through it. I mean, it's unique, man. It's definitely, it goes with it. It's just something new.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to get one of those jerseys either way for reffing because, like, reffing's fine, but it would make it a little bit more fun to look fucking sweet out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, a lot of people always ask us, this is kind of a hard left turn, but a lot of people ask us because of our community and what happened with us with the hurricane. I think we should probably just address that really quick. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
We got hit pretty bad, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's we lost our rink because it flooded over 30 feet in our area. So I mean, you talk about it, right? There's videos out there. The gas station down the road, the water was above the pumps and to the top of the roof. I mean, people lost their homes, landslides, trees falling down in their homes. I mean, some people still haven't recovered. I mean, we have got a buddy that's still living, from just what is it, Airbnb to Airbnb, right?
Yeah.
So, it's not an easy time around here. I mean, sure, when you come back, if people visit here, thankfully restaurants are back to normal for the most part. Water is restored because that took a while as well, about a month and a half to 2 months. It's been rough.
Yeah. Outlook for getting our rink going is a little bleak, but we're working on it. We got really lucky. We put together that GoFundMe, which is still running, I believe.
Yeah, it's still up and going. We were thankful enough that enough eyes got on us right away. We started the GoFundMe as a board. We were able to raise about, I think, $5,000 right off the bat, and I'm thankful to everyone that reached out to us. That was like, hey, how do I help? And this is before we even started the GoFundMe, and it's kind of what pushed us to do it too. Was that it's people reaching out saying, how do I help? Like, we can't get there, but can we send money? And, they're reaching out to me and stuff. And I'm like, well, I will let you know if we start a GoFundMe. And then, eventually, through donations and, I think at that point we had probably about $5,000, I think I said. And next, we got the Hurricanes reaching out to us. And, I'm talking with people from the Hurricanes as long as other board members are. And, NC State, their head coach, great guy. They raised money for us. But the Carolina Hurricanes said, we'll give you $50,000. And then once your GoFundMe gets up to 25,000, we'll give you another 25,000.
And it did.
And then the NHL turned around with some programs that they have, and they gave us $10,000.
Yeah.
So, we have some money. We got to find a home.
Yeah.
As you know, Justin, with your line of work, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Between real estate and what people want for rent for an empty warehouse. So, but we have hope.
Yeah.
And all we need is, we could always use more exposure for that. So, any exposure, any eyes anywhere in the area, we're I mean, how many places we've checked out so far? 3 or 4 or 5 places?
Well, yeah, at least. Yeah, I mean, now we're kind of just trying to find a place to set up and be able to do something small. I think we're still, I'll just put it out there. We would really like to be able to put together a rink or a facility that could facilitate tournaments. So we know people like to go out, enjoy some tourism in Asheville, hit all the breweries, go for hikes. I think this would be a great place to be able to set up a facility to do some tournaments and bring in all these teams. Like we're talking about, maybe one day Bearcats big enough to expand. They can move around a little bit. I don't want to steal Fraser's thunder. I know they're there till 2030, but
yeah,
maybe we can do a national tournament down here if we have a facility ready for it.
Yeah, it'd be great. Something that, like I said, I mean, our community keeps growing. We're trying to find a home for our members as fast as we can, especially our youth program. So we have different avenues we're trying to approach with that to keep our youth skating. So, if anyone has any ideas, even if you're not from here, always shoot us a DM.
Yeah.
Shoot it, on Instagram, and always willing to hold the conversation about it.
Definitely. Yeah, we're looking for all sort of support. Anybody interested in helping. We're pretty much roller only culture down here too. So I think that's special,
Yeah.
It's very focused. What else, man? We have been able to play some hockey, some of us, because we're doing PHA.
Yeah, we're playing PHA, and our team, we're playing minor PHA with a bunch of guys from Asheville and surrounding areas, and we were able to come in second place in regular season, which is kind of which is pretty good. We're competing with those Raleigh guys, and it's a bunch of Asheville guys, and trying to we got to go next month in February and try and win the whole thing in our division, the Southeast Division of PHA, so we can go to Colorado Springs.
Yeah. So all you guys going out to Colorado are planning on winning your divisions. Hopefully we see you out there. And just a big thanks to everybody that we've ran into, because everybody always is asking us how we're doing, how our league's doing.
Yeah.
And all the support's been really awesome.
Oh, absolutely. And I also have to say thank you to John Chavo and everyone that has donated gear for the youth league here. I have tons of it in my garage right now. Sticks, goalie gear, player gear, helmet, everything. I can't, as much as I want to say I don't need any more. If John's been great. We got ton of gear, but if you still are wanting to send some stuff, we will always take it.
Definitely.
Used roller gear. We cannot thank the roller community enough.
Yeah.
I can't thank John Chavo enough.
Yeah.
The man that he saw a video and he messaged me and he was like, "Can I call you?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So he calls me and he's like, "How can I help you?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, you tell me, right? And
we haven't got that far.
Yeah. He's like, and we're talking week after too.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, idea just came to mind. I want to do a gear drive and I'll start mailing it to you. And I was like, great. I said, but you might want to hold off on mailing because the postal and FedEx and UPS really isn't going right now. But yeah, absolutely. You let us know what you need from us, and yeah, we'll take any gear you want to give us. And he's been awesome. Him and Best Shift Hockey. I know his wife's been helping with it as well, and we appreciate them and everyone who donated.
Yeah, thank you guys.
But I think it's that time.
All right.
So once again, we're coming back with the same slogan. And so if you're forechecking in roller hockey, don't let up because there's no offsides. I'm Dan Dean.
Justin Wood.
We appreciate y'all. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
No offside.